debt or personal loan.
Hey, welcome in. Just about ready to start the show. Lots to talk about today. I wish more of it was good. It really isn't. Some of it's good. The national stuff is decent, but well, it's not all decent. The local stuff is pretty depressing, as it almost always is here in Columbus, where we're ruled by Democrats, which means inherent dysfunction. Familiar theme, but I promise, the show's not on tape. Thanks. Here comes the intro music, and we'll be off and running momentarily. We greet you on a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Wish I had better news for you at the start of the show today. We'll get to some good things nationally. Trump administration getting a great ruling from the Supreme Court. But we have a lot to get to. But locally, not much of it is good, which, as I just said to those of you who are watching on the live stream before we took to the air, that's not really all that startling. We are ruled by Democrats in Columbus, which brings its own amount of dysfunction. So everything I have to talk about today in the first segment of the show is decidedly depressing. We have two juveniles, ages 12 and 15, charged with murder. This murder was committed on April the 28th. There were two juvenile boys. They were in the company of two juvenile girls who will be in court this afternoon at 1 o'clock. I presume they will also be charged with murder. I'm not surprised by this. I'm chagrined by it. This murder occurred on April the 28th at 4:38 in the morning. So I looked up, what was April the 28th? Was it a Saturday? Was it a Sunday? So it was no school the next day? No. April the 28th was a Monday. Quite likely, there is no parental supervision in this case, which is why you have 4 juveniles involved in robbing and murdering a 34-year-old man in the Eden Crossing apartment complex, which is, very depressing because, I don't know. I mean, these kids will probably be back out on the street when they become adults. They won't charge them as adults, although they obviously know what they did was very, very wrong. The boys will be in court on May the 14th. Elsewhere, Franklin County Children's Services. Whenever we talk about them, it's not good, because when we talk about them, it is typically because we had a boy adopted by a woman, Pammy May, who suffocated him in a trash bag and then stuffed him in a storm drain. Or we have a lesbian couple who starves one of their sons to death and puts him in the attic, where Columbus police discover him because of the odor that his decomposing body was giving off. We can go way back to Micaiah Bryant, who was in the care of Franklin County Children's Services when she tried to stab another girl and forced a Columbus police officer to shoot her. But now we have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, both of whom have died recently in the, again, air quotes, care of their respective mothers and their respective mothers' boyfriends. One of the boyfriends has already faced justice at his own hand, as he shot himself yesterday to death when Knox County Sheriff's deputies converged to arrest him. So, hat tip for saving us the trouble of paying for your housing in a jail and the cost of your trial. Because what you did in concert with the mother of your daughter, or the mother's daughter, was egregious and so awful, I don't even want to have to tell you what it is, but in the interest of accuracy, and so that you understand the depth of the failure of Franklin County Children's Services, I will articulate it. Scott Varner is the spokesperson for Franklin County Children's Services, so his job is to insulate whoever's really in charge at Franklin County Children's Services from the incompetence of their actions. The 4-year-old, Ja'Kai Smith, her mom was 19 years old, Kaylee Smith Parks, and her 20-year-old boyfriend, Linwood Allison Jr. They are both charged with aggravated murder, and nearly 24 counts of endangering children. What did they do to their innocent little 4-year-old? They locked her. Oh, excuse me. Jakai is a boy. I'm sorry. So they locked him in his room and installed a camera so they could watch him. Columbus Dispatch reports that Jakai, 4 years old, endured physical beatings, verbal berating, and starvation in the weeks before his death. The other girl, or the girl, Ava Bretz, again, Jakai Smith's a boy, Ava Bretz, 6 years old. Her mother, Ashley Fagan, and her boyfriend, the now late 24-year-old Blake Hutchinson, who killed himself yesterday when police arrived to charge him, because they take a very dim view of child molesters and child endangerers in prison. Ava, 6 years old, sustained significant physical injuries, including a severed liver, and had visible ligature marks on her neck when she was taken to Nationwide Children's Hospital on April the 13th. This is morbid and gruesome and maddening. And it gets worse because here's the next paragraph in the story. In both instances, I'm quoting right off Bethany Bruner's reporting in the Columbus Dispatch. Why is this not in the lead, Bethany? Why are we protecting Franklin County Children's Services by burying this after the details of the children's deaths, which are so gruesome that a fair amount of people who have any compassion or who could envision the circumstances these kids went through would stop reading because it's making you physically ill? And if that is the case, as you read the details of this story, you would miss the most important detail in the story, which is, and I quote, in both instances, Children's Services had received prior complaints about abuse or neglect involving the children. That's from the spokesperson for Franklin County Children's Services. I used to be a reporter. I'm going to tell you right now, the story should be written. 2 children who Franklin County Children's Services had been repeatedly warned about being the victims of abuse. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why bury that? Maybe Bethany got overruled by her editors and they buried that in there. She is typically the very best news reporter at the Columbus Dispatch, but that's a low bar to get over. Children's Services says it is working with partners at the Center for Family Safety and Healing. How about, could we have a center for preventing the death of children at the hands of their train wreck parents? Could we have that? Maybe we should start that. No, we can't afford. Franklin County commissioners can't afford to start that because they're giving $50,000 to the Pride Parade. And the city of Columbus can't afford to start that because they're giving $100 million to build a bike path. We can't do anything to take a kid out of a home where the Center for Family Safety and Healing says bad things often happen when a boyfriend moves in with a mom. And in both instances, they had been warned, and they should have known if they bothered to make a site visit, which who knows if they did or didn't. That would be a germane fact to have in the story as well. Man, that's how do you process the senseless, brutal, gruesome death of children when the people who are charged with monitoring their safety have them on their radar and fail those kids? Now, it wouldn't be a day in Columbus, Ohio, without criticism of Columbus police for doing their job in exemplary fashion. What am I talking about today? I am talking about the pit bull dog the aggressive pit bull in Linden that Columbus police shot and killed on Sunday. They shot and killed the pit bull because it was loose, not on a leash as is required by law. Its owner had no clue that it was unleashed and loose on the street to terrorize a woman who did have her dog on a leash while walking it in the Linden neighborhood. Police pulled up, and as they were there talking to her about her dog, the pit bull attacked. And so Columbus police got out of their cruiser and shot the pit bull. Bravo! And the pit bull died. I do not like or cheer typically for the death of dogs, but I would stand up and applaud if the pit bull breed were exterminated from the face of the earth, because 99.9999999% of the time when there is an aggressive dog, it is a pit bull, which serves no useful purpose in this world other than to disfigure children, as has been the case here recently in Columbus, to kill a 73-year-old woman whose husband was watching from the porch, unable to help. I'll have more on this.
QC Kinetics. So the one insane stat I saw after that Cavs game was teams in the playoffs trailing by 7 or more with a minute left or less are now 3 in 1,640. And the Pacers have 2 of those wins this postseason because they came back from down 7 against the Bucks.
Wow.
So it had only happened once in the history of basketball.
Once in the history of basketball, and they've done it twice in 2 series. That's crazy. Whew.
Due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382. Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready, Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 10 and 2 to Retire Ready, Ohio with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. The firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group, a state-registered investment advisor.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free, 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Pluto TV. If you're a business owner and a listener to this station, you might not realize that the conservative news and talk content that you enjoy is advertiser supported. Our loyal audience loves to do business with the advertisers who make our programming possible. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some advertisers who avoid us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our listeners are eager to support advertisers who support our conservative programming. Join the successful companies who reach customers who care about this programming. Become a part of making a difference in the lives of people who listen and who are passionate about supporting the great family of advertisers who are part of this station. It's truly a perfect match for you and for them.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
Your home is a big investment.
The world happened to
If you
my
live in a
Pope story.
condominium or a homeowners association, decisions by your board and community manager affect you. Is your board knowledgeable? Is your manager trained? Is your investment protected? CAI, Community Associations Institute, can give you the tools to protect your home and community. CAI is a nonprofit organization with resources for your board, community managers, and free information for homeowners like you. CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Success. That's what they're getting at QC Kinetics. They're helping people get out of pain, and they're doing it with advanced biologic therapy, which is a fancy way of saying helping your body do what it's equipped to do, but maybe not as equipped as it needs to given the scope of the problem. You've been told you're bone on bone. You've been told you don't have any cartilage left in your joint. And how does that make you feel? Painful. That's how. Because maybe it's your elbow, your hip, your knee, your back, your ankle. Could be a finger. And you just need a few more of your body's natural healing agents in that affected area. That's what they do at QC Kinetics. They're medical specialists, proven scientific method. They withdraw your blood. They concentrate the platelets. They can pull it out. They can identify it. It's amazing. And then they re-inject it into that affected area and people get healing. It's a free, no obligation consultation, and it's got to be working because they've doubled the number of clinics in Central Ohio since they came into this market. Gahanna, Grove City, Dublin, and Canal Winchester. 380-208-4544. Call them. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. The papal conclave, I'm sorry, not enclave, sorry, my bad, is underway, or soon will be underway at the Vatican to select a successor to Pope Francis. If this were taking place later in the year, I would predict that we would see an abundance of people dressed on Halloween as the guards outside Vatican City. Have you seen those spiffy uniforms? They're like all yellow and blue and red, and very sharp, very sharp. They will vote once today, and then tonight we'll have smoke released from the chimney. Black smoke means no new pope. White smoke means they have selected a new pope with 2/3 of the vote of cardinals who are under the age of 80. And they'll vote twice tomorrow. I imagine they vote once today because probably a bunch of procedural things they have to do to get organized. And also it gives them a chance to sleep on the results, which they are sworn to secrecy. There'll be no update on, hey, this guy's closer, that guy's close. So we'll keep you abreast of all that. I was telling you before we went to break that on Sunday, Columbus police, by the way, nobody will be dressed as a Columbus police officer on Halloween because, you know, then you'd have to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement to a criminal who was threatening your life, who you shot to preserve your life. But, you know, that's not allowed here at Columbus. But at any rate, Sunday, it was not a criminal who was threatening Columbus police officers. It was the pit bull of a woman named Eviana Dickerson. She and her partner, excuse me, her partner were sunbathing in the backyard of her home in North Linden. And she looked around and she noticed that Reese, her 1.5-year-old pit bull, was not sunning itself in the yard as Eviana Dickerson expected. She was puzzled by this because she has a fenced yard. And then she heard gunfire. And somebody came and knocked on her door and told her that, you know, maybe that's your dog out there. She said she did not know how the dog escaped. Then she later realized there was a hole in the privacy fence that the dog most likely slipped through. Now, while Reese, this scamp, this adorable, I'm sure, little pit bull, that's what the owner would tell you. It's not a vicious killing machine. It's an adorable little dog, was out without authorization. It overpowered another woman's dog and pinned it up against the exterior wall of a home. The incredibly brave or clueless owner of the dog being attacked tried to get between her dog and the pit bull. Bad idea. Fortunately, Columbus police were on the scene and they shot the pit bull. Now, once the pit bull was shot, it becomes a crime scene and Eviana Dickerson wanted to be able to go out into the street and tend to her dog. My father-in-law suffered a severe injury when he tried to comfort a Doberman that had been hit by a car in the street. Went out, tried to comfort the Doberman, and got like mauled by the Doberman, because when a dog is in pain and you try to assist it, it's doesn't even have to be a pit bull, although I will acknowledge that Dobermans are not always the most peaceful breed of dog, but they don't figure into a lot of attacks like pit bulls do. Now, Ms. Dickerson says that the police should have de-escalated the situation. Does that seem like a prudent course of action to you? Nor to me. Sorry. She says pets are like family members. You wouldn't want your family there just lying there hurt. No, I wouldn't. Pets, maybe, in your view, like family members, but reality check, they are not human. Okay? They are not. I have 2 dogs. We have had, during my marriage, 2, 4. We're probably on our 9th dog in 25 years of marriage. We have cats. We have chickens. We have a horse. We love animals. Oh, I don't love them. I put up with them. My wife loves them. And I love her. So hence I put up with the animals. But I have taken to some of our animals. I'm quite fond of our one dog that we lost tragically. And a couple other dogs are okay. The one they have now is wearing my patience a bit. But I wouldn't shoot it unless it was attacking another human and another dog. And then even my wife, who is like the modern day Ellie Mae Clampett, would understand that if our dog was trying to hurt someone else, while it would not be ideal, it would be responsible to stop that from happening. Ms. Dickerson does not seem to get that. She says Franklin County Animal Control should have arrived on the scene. How long do you think that would have taken? What do you think? What do you think? Wild guess, audience. You think we have more Franklin County Animal Control officers or more Columbus police officers? Can you venture a guess on a Sunday afternoon how long it might have taken Franklin County Animal Control to arrive in North Linden, and what that pit bull would have done to that dog and that woman and those police officers if they had just said, down boy, down boy. Here's a quote from Ms. Dickerson. If Columbus police don't have the proper training to handle animals, they shouldn't be responding to animal calls. She acknowledged that her dog attacked the woman and the woman's dog, but according to Shahid Magan, writing this story in the Dispatch, Ms. Dickerson believes Columbus police acted too hastily when shooting the pit bull. They should have attempted to use pepper spray or a taser device on Reese before resorting to shooting Reese. I'm sort of familiar with a taser and pepper spray and firearms, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, a very strong, sturdy oak limb, and say that you have to be much closer to a pit bull to disable it with a taser or with pepper spray. But you know what? You don't have to be close to disable the dog with a firearm. You do not have to be close. You do not have to be in your own personal peril. And it is not something they take as an oath as a Columbus police officer that if a woman's dog gets out of her fenced yard and attacks another citizen and another dog, that police need to take a restrained approach. They need to de-escalate. No, they do not need to do that. They did the right thing. Congratulations to whoever shot the pit bull, because that is exactly what you should have done.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. It's a day of change at the nation's airports for domestic travelers. Real ID is now in effect. Travelers taking a domestic flight and using a state-issued ID to get through security must have one that meets federal Real ID requirements. Homeland Security says people without Real ID will still be able to fly, although there will be additional identity checks and possible delays. Catholic cardinals are sequestering at the Vatican for their conclave to elect the next pope. The 133 cardinals from 70 countries will be voting in secret inside the Sistine Chapel. The Walt Disney Company saw revenue rise 7% from the same quarter a year ago. Disney's domestic theme parks thrived in the second quarter, and the company added another 2.5 million Disney Plus and Hulu subscribers. This is SRN News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family. For routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises on pricing. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
The last time we had a professional real estate investor in the White House, we raised $300 million and secured some of the best real estate deals that we've ever seen. Ty Lassiter here with Key City Capital. With Trump back in the office, the real estate market is already rebounding. We're primed to raise $400 million this time around, and the biggest opportunities are happening right now. But here's what most people don't realize. If you wait, you miss the best deals. The people who took action last time set themselves up for generational wealth. The ones who hesitated, they watched from the sidelines while others built their portfolios. So let me ask you this. When you look back in 4 years, will you be one of the people who took action or one of the people who missed out? Don't sit on the sidelines this time around. These opportunities don't wait. If you're not in early, you're missing the best returns. Visit keycitycapital.com/Hugh or call 817-912-1569 and start investing in your financial future today. I look forward to hearing from you.
You've seen him on Fox News, Newsmax, CNN, and the Salem News Channel, and townhall.com. He's Chris DeGaulle, and you can hear him weekday mornings 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Well, I met a great guy yesterday in Mechanicsburg. Wonderful, wonderful guy, and look forward to meeting another lovely possible flooring client this afternoon. Boy, I got some stories from that gentleman yesterday who's occasionally works on house flips. He's worked on one in Linden. Let me just say he's worked on his last one. But I'll tell you what, I would love to help you with your flooring remodeling needs. Or maybe you got a new build and man, the builder's charging me an arm and a leg to put flooring in my basement. Here's an idea. Leave it unfinished and then come see me by going to brucehooley.com and clicking flooring. If you need luxury vinyl plank flooring, which is it's not even durable. It's eternal. You can't get rid of it. Well, you can get rid of it, but why would you want to? It's waterproof and scratch proof. Carpet, same exact name brands as the other big box stores. We'll install it faster, get it in quicker, and save you money. BruceHooley.com, click flooring. BruceHooley.com, click flooring. Yeah, this gentleman I met yesterday, he's in the middle of a house flip, and I asked him about his other endeavors, and he said he once had a home in Linden that he acquired as a crack house, former crack house. And I said, well, did you have a problem with people breaking into it? because they still thought it was a crack house all the time. Said he couldn't leave anything there, it would be stolen. The front door is broken in, big heavy front door, back door, couldn't leave a single thing there, it was gone. So guess what? He's probably not going to do another house in Linden, which depends upon your perspective, right? We talked yesterday about Michelle Obama's grievance politics, the black graduation at Ohio State. And Ben Shapiro said something yesterday on his podcast. I'm not gonna steal it without crediting him, because he said the dilemma. Remember I said yesterday, like, you have a black graduation. To me, that's segregation, which I thought minorities were against segregation. But Ben Shapiro said yesterday, he goes, when white people leave a neighborhood, it's called white flight. When white people move into a neighborhood, a depressed neighborhood, to try to make it better, or flip a house, say, in a depressed neighborhood like Linden, then it's called gentrification. So if you leave, it's bad. If you go in and try to make it better, it's bad. So just keep electing Democrats, which, hey, by the way, that's a pretty good segue. Unplanned. I suppose there are less surprising headlines than the one I'm going to share with you next, which is Democrat-backed Columbus school board candidates roll to primary election victories. I suppose there are headlines I could come up with that would be less surprising than Democrats triumph in a school board race in Columbus. Let me see if I can come up with one. Here, how's this? Gravity defeats man jumping off Levesque Tower who denied gravity's existence. That would be less surprising, right? We could come up with, here's one. Studies show college students drink excessively on spring break. That would be less surprising. Well, maybe not less surprising than this headline. Democrat-backed Columbus school board candidates roll to primary election victories. Big congratulations to the 6 Antoinette Miranda, Patrick Katzenmeyer, Jermaine Kennedy, Monier Lynch, Janice Keys, and Kimberly Mason. All secured enough votes in the nonpartisan primary race. It's nonpartisan, yeah, sure. Let's see here now. Both the Franklin County Democratic Party and the Equity Now Coalition endorsed Katzenmeyer, Kennedy, and Miranda. They all advanced. The Columbus Education Association, that's your teachers, endorsed Katzenmeyer, Keys, and Miranda. So we are voting for, did anybody make it? Monier Lynch and Kimberly Mason made it without having the endorsement of the Franklin County Democratic Party, the Equity Now Coalition, or the Columbus Education Association. But as is noted in this story, Miranda, Katzenmeyer, and Kennedy, who all have the magic dust of Democratic Party or Teachers Union or Equity Now Coalition endorsement on their pretty little heads, are expected to win in the fall. And here's another, just thought of another. Least surprising headline is a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. Nothing has changed in Columbus City schools since the election of 3 new board members. By the way, speaking of school levies, there's not a lot of good news unless you're from Marysville, which congratulations to Marysville last night by a huge margin, more than 20 points. Marysville voters, after twice failing renewal levies, passed one by more than 20 points. Otherwise, I think there's only one other school levy that passed, which is Walnut Township. That was a renewal levy as well. Passed 51 to 49. Not in count, but that in percentage. Now, Taze Valley was looking for a new bond issue because that district is growing like a weed, people moving in. That levy failed 69% to 31%. Southwest Licking, bond levy. Bond levies, ladies and gentlemen, are the only thing you can do with a bond levy is build a building. Why do you build a building? You build a building because your buildings are deteriorating, or you build a building because your district is expanding and you don't have room for the kids that are coming in. Now, in the Jonathan Alder School District, their bond levy to build a building, because that community is mushrooming before our very eyes, with more development coming. 6 current housing developments under construction, more coming on the outskirts of Dublin. Dublin's built out, so now they're moving out to Plain City. Their bond levy failed by 31 votes. 31. So about 3,000 votes cast, failed by 31. Here's the thing about a bond levy that those of you in Southwest Licking, Jonathan Alder, Taze Valley, here's what all of you may not have known that you need to know. A bond levy amount is fixed, okay? So let's say you got a bond levy that's going to raise $70 million. That bond, as more people move in, doesn't raise $72 million because more people are coming in and they get charged the millage. Hey, great, the bond goes, nope, the bond levy is fixed. So what it means is the best time to pass a bond levy is before people move into your district, even though you can see, oh, look at that. There's a housing development there. Ooh, look at this. I just went 0.2 of a mile. There's another one. And I just went 0.4 of a mile. And there's another one. All the developers seem to be coming out here. Yes. And the houses are going up. If you pass your bond levy now, wait, let me interrupt my educational rant. Do you think you can build a big building, like say a school building? Do you think you can build a big building less expensively today? Or do you think you can build it less expensively 2 years from now? I agree, today. You can never build anything in the future less expensively than you can build it today. If you have growth projections in your district that say the growth is coming, you better prepare. The prudent time to pass a bond levy would be now. Because then, back to my informational rant on how bond levies work, as new people move into your district, the share of the bond that you passed, you get to hand it to them as a welcome to our neighborhood present and go, guess what? I'm paying $300 more in taxes in year 1 of the bond levy. Now, guess what? Welcome to our neighborhood. You get to pay $100 of my $300. And now I get to pay $200. And all those people that come in get to pay a share of your bond levy. So if you voted down a bond levy, and I got to say this, in a high-performing district, you got to make sure you're getting value from your district. Don't let them go woke on you. Don't let them not educate the kids. But if you have a high-performing district and you had the chance to approve a bond levy and you thought, I know what I'll do. I don't want to pay more taxes, which I fully understand. Property taxes have gone through the roof. They got to get that figured out at the State House, which they have a stupid proposal in their budget to do it. But if you have a high-performing school district and you thought, I'll vote this down and that'll stop development from coming to my district, well, you're ill-informed. Because the people who are to blame for the development in your district are, can you guess? That's right, the developers. And who greenlights the developers coming into your district? It's not the schools. It's kind of a play off the old, why can't I think of the name of the movie? The Kevin Costner movie where he's playing baseball. A Field of Dreams. You know, in a Field of Dreams, like, if you build it, they will come. Well, in an expanding school district, the school board, the teachers, the administrators, they can't stop the development. You know who can stop it? Township trustees, county commissioners, village councils. Those are the 3 entities that you need to be taking your concerns to. If you don't want development in your district, I get it. Orange Township, they didn't want Intel coming in, but they didn't blame the school board for it. So that's my little educational screed on bond levies. Operating levies, emergency levies are different. Bond levies are like that.
and warmer with clouds and sunshine and a high 73. Becoming cloudy tonight with a low 51. Tomorrow partly sunny with a thunderstorming spot in the afternoon and a high 69. Tomorrow night cloudy and chilly with a shower in the area and a low of 41. Friday times of clouds and sun with a high of 67. Friday night clear and chilly, low 41. Saturday plenty of sunshine and beautiful start to the weekend with a high of 71. I'm Jillian Ford on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Ready to redefine aging? At HealthSpan Clinics in Columbus, Ohio, their same-day stem cell therapy unlocks your body's natural power for longevity and vitality. Using cutting-edge Time Machine 3.0 technology, they harvest and apply your own stem cells in one visit. Safe, fast, and personalized. Feel energized, move better, and live vibrantly. Visit health-span-clinics.com. HealthSpan Clinics, your path to a longer, healthier life.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now. 800-208-0414. 800-208-0414. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-208-0414. 800-208-0414 and give us your answer. Proceedings not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
You can hear this today at PregnerTopia.com.
I am going to offer a proposition that will strike those as so archaic that you will wonder if I was dropped here in a time machine in 1611. In fact, I need to give a trigger warning. That's what I really need. Trigger warning.
Hear the entire episode. It's for Pregnertopia members only. Go to Pregnertopia.com.
Hey, I have a question for you. Was your air conditioner just not keeping you comfortable last season? Well, why not get a jump on the hot weather you know's coming with an air conditioner by day and night heating and cooling products from Temperature Pro Columbus. The regular price is $5,500, but your discount shopping club price is only $2,750. That's half price. Now, there's only one available, so you gotta move quickly and be prepared for those hot summer days and nights. Learn more at 989theanswer.com or call RMAT at 614-216-5049.
This is a police officer's family, happily getting ready for work and school. Sadly, some police officers don't make it home because motorists don't move over for emergency vehicles on the shoulder.
I'm Ohio Fraternal Order of Police President Jay McDonald. There are too many injuries and even deaths because drivers don't move over. When you see a stopped emergency vehicle, please move over.
Visit FOPOhio.org/moveover for more information and use hashtag MoveOver on social media to join us. This is a public service of the Ohio Fraternal Order of Police and this station.
Got vacation plans for the summer? Well, you do now. If you didn't know what you wanted to do, I bet I'll strike something in you that'll say, hey, that sounds like fun. August 16th, how would you like to depart from Seattle on the Patriots Alaska cruise aboard Holland America ship? Now, you will be accompanied on this cruise by Mike Gallagher and Larry Elder. They're the headliners, but, I think Joe Piscopo's getting cheated. Joe Piscopo's a headliner to me. He's a conservative talk show host. Did you know? The guy who did the Sinatra on Saturday Night Live? Joe Pisco is a funny dude. But he's going to be on the cruise. Are you? August 16th to the 23rd. Cruising from Seattle, you'll go through Puget Sound, Juneau, Sitka, Ketchikan, and Victoria, British Columbia. You'll see the Stevens Passage, Glacier Bay. You will have all the time you want during the day to do whatever you want to do. And then at night, there'll be conversations and lectures and interactions with Larry and Mike Gallagher, two great guys who come here to Columbus. Many of you have met them. Go to travelwithsalem.com to book your passage. That's travelwithsalem.com. I goofed up on the uniforms outside the Vatican. They just sealed the doors to the Sistine Chapel. They're getting ready to vote on the successor to Pope Francis. I said they were blue and yellow and red. Well, there's a little red on the sleeves, and then they have a feathery plume on their helmets. That's a sharp look. I'm surprised I didn't see that at the Met Gala the other night. Somebody sporting that. Governor Mike DeWine has finally done something that I approve of. He has ordered United States and Ohio flags on all public buildings and grounds. Well, okay, I don't approve of it anymore. Throughout Hamilton County. Why is it not throughout the entire state? This is in honor of Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson, who was murdered or assassinated in a clear hate crime over the weekend by the father of a teenager who the day before had been shot by law enforcement in Cincinnati while the teenager was being investigated along with 3 of his pals for stealing a car, running from police, not stopping, hiding behind a dumpster with a gun in his hand, fooling around and finding out by meeting his maker for his trouble. His father, who watched the body cam video and could clearly see that his son was not complying with officers' orders, thus inviting himself to be shot and killed. The father watched the body cam video, went home, slept on it, worked up a good anger, and purposefully went out looking for a law enforcement officer that he could run over and murder, which he did to Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson, who was retired but working traffic control at the University of Cincinnati commencement. So DeWine has ordered the flags in Hamilton County to be flown at half-staff. They should be flown at half-staff all over the state of Ohio, as they should be any time a law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty protecting the rest of us. Deputy Henderson was a bomb technician and a member of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department's dive team that performed water rescues and searches. After retirement, he continued to serve as a special deputy. And oh, by the way, he and his wife, after they became empty nesters, adopted 2 children to give them the kind of upbringing, discipline, direction, and love that this kid clearly did not get from his father. Now, back to schools for a second. The city of Westerville City Schools rather, has canceled its summer program for students in kindergarten through grade 8. This is a cost-cutting measure because Westerville attempted to pass a bond levy to build a building in November, and voters rejected it 52% to 45%. It would have raised $140 million for school construction and improvements. Now, the district is looking at eliminating 30 positions from the district through layoffs and retirements. Now, let me just say that Westerville Schools has invited the wrath of its community by being the first ahead of Worthington to try to outlaw LifeWise Academy programs allowed by the state of Ohio law in its school district, because the school board in Westerville has been overtaken by left-wingers. So that 7-point margin, you know, with the number of people who showed up to advocate for LifeWise, all of whom you made mad by tuning out their desire to have their children be part of LifeWise Academy. Could you have made that up if you had their support? Maybe. Maybe. You'll never know, will you? Well, now you will know, because you have to do it, because the state legislature stepped in. But here's another instance that I found not coincidental. Nearly 2 weeks after a fight broke out inside Westerville South High School's hallway, district leaders tell Channel 6 that the district is safe. 14 teens are charged. Some are students at the high school. What? Why are students in the why are people in the high school who are not students? Well, because one of the students who was involved in the fight apparently opened a side door, allowing people who are not students to get in there and start a brawl. Now, this is another one of those instances, like I shared with you earlier in Bethany Bruner's story in the Dispatch about the children's services being troubled that was it a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old horribly mistreated and murdered by their moms and their moms' boyfriends. And in that story, way down in the story, it said Children's Services was aware of previous issues with these 2 kids in these homes. That should have been the lead, but it wasn't. Similarly, here's this story about Westerville and the fight in the hallway at Westerville South High School and the assurances of Westerville city school officials saying that the school is safe. The most telling paragraph in this story is the last one. Okay, imagine you got a fight, a brawl. How many kids? 14 teens are charged. Some of them are students. They range in age from 14 to 18. Okay, so you have 14. Not everybody gets arrested in a brawl. There's some that were inevitably involved. They threw one punch, and as my dear friend Mark Munch Bishop used to say, the guy without the shirt, you're getting cuffed. Yeah, don't take your shirt off if you're in a brawl, because the cops are going to see you. And Munch always used to say, the guy without the shirt, you're getting cuffed. But the most telling detail in this story is the last paragraph. Monday marked the first Westerville Board of Education meeting since the fight. Next sentence. Last sentence in the story. It was not addressed during the meeting. What? You mean to tell me the Westerville Board of Education, I assume, is aware that you had a fight in one of your 3 high schools where 14 teenagers were arrested? You held a board meeting after that fight. You did not address it. And I might add, no parent got up during the time you can address the board and said, hey, what's going on with the fight at Westerville South? I find that incredible. And I also find it telling, because if the parents don't care enough, you think any kid went home and goes, hey, what happened at school today? Oh, nothing. Or do you think they went home and go, oh, there's a huge fight in the hallway, like a bunch of kids got arrested? I know typical teenagers will go, it was good, nothing. Yeah, how was your day? Great, fine, good, yeah. What's going on? Nothing. I don't think, if there's a fight in the school, I think a few parents know about that. And then they get on social media and they're like, what's going on at the school? No parent showed up to the board meeting to ask about it, and the board never addressed it. That's a metric you can evaluate. If you're a taxpayer in the Westerville district, is that the kind of accountability from your board that you want to support? I would not want to support that kind of accountability in my school district. Fortunately, we have a great degree of accountability in our school district. Board members are apprised of every single thing that goes on. And we address it with the community, because those are the people that we serve. Not in Westerville, though.
Warm glasses of milk, even those weird meditation apps. Right? So now it's time to stop trying and start sleeping again. Z Factor from Relief Factor offers a real solution for sleepless nights. It goes beyond melatonin and uses a combination of 4 natural ingredients. It helps relax your mind so you can fall asleep quicker and helps you sleep soundly through the night. Give Z Factor a try. Right now, you'll pay only $19.95 for a 30-day supply. Z Factor is 100% drug-free, so it's safe to take regularly. Plus, there's no groggy feeling when you wake up.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it very much. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Science behind Z